How are you, Dr. Gajavelli? How are you?
Good, good.
Okay, good to hear, sir. Good to hear you. Okay, so namaskar, participants. Are you able to hear me? Are you able to see me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is very
Yes,
clear.
sir.
Okay. So the final day, we are just left with 2 more sessions, followed with a small exam, and then a small valedictory, and then we are done with the FTP. Okay, so it's 10, so let's get started. I have senior colleague, Dr. Gajavelli, VS, a senior and a veteran, I should say, in the area of economics. Okay, he has taught in India and abroad, a thorough and a popular teacher, and he utilizes multiple methods to keep his classes engaged. So in brief, let me read out Dr. Gajavelli's bio CV. He is a professor of economics and chairperson, Center for Sustainability, Growth and Development at Institute of Management Technology in Nagpur. He has more than 25 years of experience in management education, research, executive education, in-company programs, faculty development, and consulting. He holds a PhD from Hyderabad Central University and trained in participant-centered learning and case method craft at Harvard Business School and on teaching methodologies and case writing by Richard Ivey and Stockholm School. His academic interests include economic analysis and its applications to management, economy, policy, and sustainable development, economic integration, and global business and enterprise risk management. So now over to Dr. Gajavelli. Okay, and I hope that in the next 90 minutes he will take you through some of the most interesting pedagogical tools that he has been engaging his students in a class. And I'm sure that on this last day, you will have maximum learning from the next 2 sessions that we have. Okay, so over to Dr. Gajavelli. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Professor. My voice is audible, sir?
Yeah, you are audible, though you are visible, but somehow it's a little hazy. I don't know, but it's a little hazy. It's not very clear. Either you need to switch on all your lights, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I think the lights are on, sir.
Still, it looks so hazy. Maybe the.
Is it fine now?
Yeah, it's a little better now. It's a little better now.
Okay.
Okay, sir. Over to you, sir.
Yes, sir. Fine, sir. Thank you so much.
Some problem with the camera, sir, I think. Some problem with the camera.
Camera is fine, sir. Let me just see. Is it fine now? Better?
Little bit better.
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 So fine. Very good morning to all of you. And
Good morning, sir.
And I see this, as a very important milestone in my career, because whenever you interact with, an august gathering like this, learned professors, it is going to be a very rich experience. We all of us, keep attending, various conferences, MDPs, and management development programs. The learning is always from the co-participants, and the facilitator, by and large, act like a moderator. For instance, I had been to Harvard And I had been to several other FDPs handled by some of the most well-known trainers from Ivy Business School and also from Harvard Business School and IIM Ahmedabad and Bangalore. So this is what exactly they're learning. We learn a lot from the fellow participants, and we also try to check our own understanding, our own perspectives, with such an authentic and reliable gathering. So with these few words, I would like to move forward. If the bandwidth allows, I think you are most welcome to keep your videos on, because that is how we are, trying to optimize these interactions. I see how many participants. I think still some of them are joining. Yeah, okay. About 34, 35. So I just shared my screen with you all. Yeah. Can you see my slide, professors?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
okay.
Sir, it can be put in presentation mode would be better, I think.
I'm just checking.
Yeah, thanks.
See, I think my colleague Dr. Mohanty, has already introduced me, but how I would like to move forward the next 1 hour, 15-20 minutes. If you have a query, kindly please raise your hand. In between, I myself, keep giving you some kind of a time cushion wherein you can ask questions. And if time permits, we would like to have some kind of exercise. I think all of us having access to the net. And more so coming to me, I have been in teaching and also corporate training. And I also handled, management development programs and faculty development programs. What I feel many a time, the facilitator has to have a long-term interest in his or her engagement. My voice is clear, professors?
Yes, sir.
So I think you are, I'm making a very profound statement. Facilitator must have a long-term interest, in his or her, the way they engage the audience. We are all teachers, right? We are not here. Basically, kindly put off your speakers unless you have something to say. So our commitment is to mold young minds. And the kind of the generation gap, the way we are brought up, the kind of educational environment that we had, and the young kids, I was going through your profile. You're all experienced faculty members. You know much more. That today's young kids are driven by so many development, the technology, the job market, and more so entertainment that is hardly that is just available at their they have to just use their cell phone, isn't it? And an enormous amount of information flow around them. So as a teacher, how is it we are going to mold them? What kind of interaction that we plan to have? What are the various the teaching or pedagogical methods or the resources that we are going to use? these matters a lot, apart from our own ethics and integrity and commitment to this profession, that out of our own choice, we are in this. So with these few words, now I move forward. The topic is about the current market intelligence for an effective MBA class engagement, right? So if you talk to me, an effective class engagement, right? And if you look at the AICTE-ATAL Faculty Development Program, pedagogical excellence in management class. So it essentially explicitly trying to drive a point that we are talking about excellence. We are not talking about anything less than excellence. Because at the end of the day, we as a teacher, we should have that sense of satisfaction. Doesn't matter, the student may be cribbing about what are you doing in the class, or student finding it challenging, the kind of assignments that you are giving to them, or the kind of chaos at times created by the faculty, pushing them into Ocean Pacific, pushing them into Amazon jungles. But that is precisely is the marketplace. That is precisely is the corporate world wherein they are going to work, eke out a living, and bring name to this great nation. I think, we have to keep every possible point our national education policy. Where we stand, I'm sure most of you taught even abroad, but let me bring my own, exposure. Where India stands, there is an enormous amount of betting that is, that depends on how India is going to fare. There is a so-called population dividend. The major chunk of the India's population being in the, working age group, and they're all eligible, and they want to work, isn't it? And they have to find a job. Do they have the required skills? Will they be in a position to participate in a job market wherein they need to compete with French guys, Americans, British citizens, Europeans, people coming from Asia Pacific region, Chinese? Because if you look at any corporate, any corporate is a translational corporate, multinational corporate. They have foreign nationals, they have foreign sales, they have foreign assets. So their translational index is much higher. They are doing more business abroad than in India. So likewise, even foreign companies are operating here. So the job market is essentially globalized. So where our Indian students, doesn't matter whether they are in whichever is the stream, now here the focus is the management programs. So how is it they are able to imbibe, get those required skills and march forward in their lives and bring accolades to this great nation? I think these are certain important points we need to keep in our mind whenever we step into the class. This is only my simple, humble opinion. You are all, learned people. So I was talking about, so I taught in France and I interacted with at least 45 nationalities. And you name all the G20 countries and the very rich nations, students coming from China, Lebanon, Pakistan, Korea. My goodness, their humbleness, their attitude is way beyond our imagination. I taught in Indonesia, and these students are, as in today, reading journals at undergrad level. We walked into university and these kids are reading journals in finance, economics, marketing, and these kids are reading textbooks that we are using at the postgraduate level, which they are referring to at the undergrad level. And most of their textbooks are translated into Bhasha Indonesia. So we have to keep these aspects into our mind. When we step into the class imparting some knowledge, it is not the short-term interest. If I put it more specifically, it doesn't look nice, but we should have a long-term interest in this engagement. And this engagement is not going to stop for a batch. It's going to continue until we retire. Even after retirement, we carry this vision, we carry these perspectives, and that is how we keep engagement on all through. So this is the backdrop, of the entire my interaction that's going to happen. So how we move forward, basically. We briefly look at what is the learning environment of a graduating MBA. So how the concepts, their competencies, and their ability to connect with people. I mean, I'm very, very specific when I'm using a wording, a language. Way back a decade ago, Harvard Business School stated about 3 important C's which are very, very crucial for an MBA. These are 3 C's: concept, competency, and connections. And they go hand in hand. If you don't have the concept and your ability to apply, there is no way you can acquire the kind of a competency needed to manage businesses, either your own or other businesses, Indian or foreign businesses. And what matters is, are you able to connect with the people? You have the concept, you have the competency, but do you have the skill to connect, the communication? So that is also equally important when it comes to, again, the topic that we are going to talk about, the current market scenario, the current economic, financial, market trends, the trends in corporates, the trends in industry, the trends in economies world over. Otherwise, there is no way you can communicate, you can connect. That is where we are trying to bring how does the current and your ability to connect the future matters, isn't it? So that is where we are trying to bring in the current market intelligence, the way it is very much needed in a learning mode that is active. So when I say excellence, there may be combination of ways to impart knowledge, and every method has its distinct advantage, distinct contribution to the way the learning is going to be imparted to any, for that matter, to in a school, in a 10+2 college, or a undergrad, grad, or executive program, or even to policymakers. So every mode, every pedagogical way, approach, means has equally important. But we need to be very, very clear as to how for an MBA, certain combinations work wonders. And how and why a faculty has to have a very, very balanced mix approach and have a total hold, not to get carried away with the audience. You are the master. You are the supreme as far as the class is concerned. Kindly put your speakers off, Madam Ji, please. Yeah. So, and this is how we are moving forward. In case if I deviate, kindly remind me, and you are most welcome to just put on your mic and speak up. Right now, I am on the slide. So, and how a flipped class. I think I was also, in and out of some of your previous sessions. You have a beautiful, wonderful idea about a flipped class. So, how this actually matter? So, how a flipped class is a kind of a necessary platform to do a meaningful introduction of the current market intelligence and make those aspects relevant to your topic, to your concept, to your evaluation component, either midterm, end term, or a project. isn't it? So that is what we look at, and with the help of you, we are going to do scope and usage of market intelligence and how this is going to help young kids in mastering the MBA curriculum and also later in the future. Whether their learning is going to just confine to the textbooks, the midterm, end-term assignment that we're going to give to the students, or do they have something concrete to take way beyond the 2 years MBA program? I think that is a moot point, that is a fundamental question. If at all, if we are really serious to give kind of a return back to the student, the kind of time that they invest, the kind of money that they spend, the kind of effort that they put in these 2 years. And I look forward to your own experience sharing. If time permits, we look at some exercises, and maybe I share about what stakeholders say about this kind of approach and what are the outcomes. Current market intelligence makes a big difference and impact young minds immensely. I think that is what we started from, the kind of international platform, how our students compete in the global job market. Doesn't matter whether they join foreign companies or Indian companies, and how they're learning is such a wonderful asset to them, going way beyond just getting a job. We are essentially in the job of molding young minds.
सेशन चालू आहे. हा, आता इन केलं त्यांनी.
Yes, please. Yeah,
तू
we
केलं
are,
ना?
we are,
हा, ठीक.
you are speaking to me,
आणि त्या
sir.
Moodle-वर होतं ना तुझं रजिस्ट्रेशन?
Excuse me, please put off your speaker, sir. Ha.
हा. ठीक आहे, ठीक आहे.
Kindly
दीड
put off
वाजता
your
मग
speaker,
कॉपी
sir.
करू ना आपण फोन करून एकामेकांना.
Hello, all the participants. Hello. May I request all the participants
आता
to
काय
switch
आहे
off? May
कारण
I
एवढे सारे
request?
PDF कोण वाचणार आहे आता?
Yeah, hello, please, each one of you, please switch off your microphones. There's a big hindrance in the delivery of the professor. If you need to ask a question, only then switch on your microphones. Thank you. Sir, please go ahead. Dr. Gajavelli, please go ahead.
Sir, I think professors, it's muted. We can't hear you.
Yes.
Sir, please unmute your mic.
Yes, I did.
Gajavelli, sir. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, yeah. Madam, could you please go through this particular? Are you able to see my slide?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Please look at this slide on YouTube for 3 minutes. And we are going to have a chat on this. How challenging is the future career of a graduating MBA? So, I mean, this is a standard. When AICTE say the academic excellence, we have to benchmark something best in the world. So let us see. We all of us cherish to be like what happens at HBS, right? So kindly look at this. Yeah.
Sir, it's a humble request that could you please share this link in our chat box so that we can copy it and paste it down on the internet.
Yes, madam. I'm doing immediately.
Thank you so much, sir.
You're most welcome, ma'am. Yes. You got it, ma'am? Yeah.
Just a second.
Ha.
Sir,
we haven't received. It's not there, sir.
it's not there, sir, actually.
But I pasted it
not
already. Yes, got it, madam?
So we haven't received yet, sir.
But my system is showing.
Yeah, got it.
Yes, sir, got it.
Because my system is showing it's already, maybe, some kind of technology hitch. Yeah. Thank you. Welcome, ma'am. So I want my dear colleagues to really, see what happens inside an MBA class. So that is where we are trying to, get in and see why the current market intelligence is of a paramount importance. Why kids need to be abreast in the latest development. Then only they are able to look into the future. So next 3 minutes maximum. Yes, professors. So can we come back? Hello, professors.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So you can see the whole stuff later on.
Okay, sir.
So what are your impressions? Yeah. Yes, please. Please raise your hands. I can call you. Yeah, those who wants to participate, please raise your hands. Yeah, Anuradha Gaikwad, please go ahead, ma'am.
Basically, what I found was that there is a lot of preparation which goes on the part of the professors as well as the
Yes.
students. And when you have to do
Amazing.
a case, you have to prepare much more than a normal 1 hour lecture that we deliver. That was one of the first things I noticed.
Yes. And I think there are.
And one more thing, sir, if I could add, the atmosphere in the classroom was very, very informal compared to what we find in our classrooms, especially in the Indian scenario.
Yes.
You know, some of the people, and I've had this experience.
I would like to add a point. You are Anuradha, madam?
Yes, sir.
Madam, it is the faculty's role, faculty's responsibility to create that kind of an environment.
Yes, I agree with you. I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
I completely agree with you. But I was just going to share one experience, sir. I was working in an institute which was a combination of engineering and management. And when we used to do certain classes, there used to be a lot of laughter and all in our MBA classes. And a complaint had gone to the director that faculty members joke inside the class and there is chaos inside the class. That is why I thought I should bring up this point.
Finally, it is the faculty's responsibility to create, to set that kind of a tone in the very, very initial interactions. And I think Professor Uma was also raised her hand. Madam, please go ahead. Yeah. Professor Uma, you also raised your hand, madam. Yeah.
Sir, basically, I saw that the intensity with which the preparations are done is extremely, noteworthy. Probably lacking in our audiences as students, because whenever we try to give them a case and beforehand and come prepared for the class, most of them turn up even without reading it. So that is
madam,
one.
These are certain limitations. How we overcome? In the interest of all the stakeholders and this great nation, we look at these limitations later on. So how we all of us together can actually overcome these things. I want to add a few things. I think how intense is the stress on everybody. It is not stress, actually, it is a kind of a energy that they are able to create. So how you are able to make out that? Yeah, Smriti Ranjan, please, you want to say something, ma'am? Yeah, Mrs. Smriti Ranjan Sahu, you want to say something? Yeah.
This is Subrat. May I?
You're not able to unmute. Please, Subrat. Yeah, please go ahead.
We have to design our class with some more case study basis, so that we can put them, we can involve them in every topics and every activities of our class.
Yes. Yeah. And what I would like to add here, the kind of exercise that you say, it is all the current market analysis. He's talking about the markets, he's talking about the pricing, he's talking about the market structure. So many a time, what happens in an MBA classroom is an appreciation of the existing, the developing market scenario vis-a-vis what is there in the textbook. Because the textbooks cases are written way back, and we are essentially trying to groom managers to manage future businesses. So that is where the active mode of learning and trying to make young kids to be abreast of the latest developments by bringing in what is happening on the policy front, what the companies are doing, what the corporates are doing, and how is it they are trying to reach their sales targets, their financial targets, and how is it they are going to compete. So these things matter a lot. So I move forward. Are you able to see my presentation, ma'am? The same slide.
Yes.
Now I'm looking at what is market intelligence. Can you see my slide, ma'am?
Yes, sir. It is.
Participants?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So using market intelligence by collating, analyzing various quantifiable and qualitative information about the markets in which these companies, these organizations, even the governments are operating. We are only trying to groom our future managers and who are going to help companies to gain valuable insights into how to grow their businesses. This doesn't mean that businesses are there to make profits. Grow in the sense on an enduring basis, on a triple bottom line target basis, how their operations can actually attend to their own employees, the people in their localities, and even the carbon footprints apart from the financial profitability. So it is all integrating holistic the way we are trying to bring the current market information to update, to drive the class interaction, and to top up the students' abilities to interpret the current market scenarios. If an MBA is not able to interpret, understand, comprehend the current market scenario, current industries, the current developments, current policies, and the way the government policies are impacting, for instance, firms and their future profitability, I think our job is not complete, madam. Not complete, professors. That is my take. So that is a platform, that is a plank we are trying to move forward, and the pedagogy we all of us know. So what kind of a pedagogy that actually nurture this kind of interaction with a kind of a edge, with a distinct feature. So we are going to look at that. So the learning environment, I think I have been talking about, because it is highly challenging. Managers look at engineers, look at doctors, look at lawyers, same books, same formulas, same laws, but that is not the case as far as managers are concerned. Every 10 years there is a major downturn in the economy. Yeah. 96, 97, there was a Southeast Asian currency crisis, market crisis. Exactly after 10 years, 2007 and 9, global meltdown. And exactly after 10 years, now the current pandemic. So the managers actually put into enormous amount of uncertainty and risk, and these are the VUCA times. So without spending much time, I'm sure you know what is VUCA, right? Volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. So how much we do in the class has to basically clear these VUCA, complexities. We need to equip the future leaders, future managers, as to how best they can manage these VUCA times, how best they can bring down volatility, how best they can, understand the uncertainty in the marketplace. How can they actually go about understanding the complexity in the marketplace, and how is that they are going to get over the kind of ambiguity and have a clear perspective. I think these are all the basic essence of an MBA learning, basic essence of an MBA teaching. So if you are not talking about current, I don't think that we are doing a complete job inside the classroom. So this is the distinctiveness of the management education that calls for a altogether a different approach. I think we have been already introduced to case method, simulations, and what is that creative thinking, and why that kind of skill set is required in previous sessions. And my learned faculty, they are experts in their own areas. I think I had a chance to, be there for some time. I'm not going to repeat those stuff, but I'm going to build a story based depending on what is required in this session. So, and the MBA diversity, these schools are nowadays rated on lines of how diverse is the intake, their geography, the gender, their academic background, people with work ex, and also the freshers, isn't it? In fact, I had one of my friend at Indian School of Business. He's a senior director there, P.R. Menon. He was telling, sir, nowadays we take students with arts and history background, languages. At such a, globally, 13th or 14th rank on par with IIM Ahmedabad. So the diversity as such matters because a business problem, complexity requires almost 360-degree of appraisal. So everybody is bringing one perspective, historical perspective. How best you interpret, analyze things. Even the language matters, your communication matters, both oral as well as written communication skills, apart from other functional areas that you're all familiar with. So this is the kind of again a unique, a distinct feature of an MBA program that is in a way very, very different from the professional lines. I think you are exposed to various pedagogical methods, and whatever is the pedagogy that a faculty uses become a learning strategy for your student. So you have to be very, very clear about it. Whatever the pedagogy that you use, your student is going to do the same. You want to lecture, he's going to keep quiet, remaining 90 minutes, isn't it? You want to discuss, yeah, if not in the first couple of sessions, I'm sure the kids are going to dare you in the third or fourth session, isn't it? So, I mean, it all depends. And even if they are a bit afraid, I think the faculty should not hesitate to take a little more risk. I think every effort to reach the targeted goal obviously involve risk, and one has to take risk. I request participants kindly put off your speakers after your participation. This is in the interest of everybody. Otherwise, we are hearing the crosstalks, and that is coming in the way of the interaction. So we basically have to create an environment on a B school campus and inside the class that all the students are actively working in a team environment and they are well prepared for a planned session. And this is very important that if you do the lectures, I'm sure that we are not going to discuss anything about UCA times. You're not going to verify how much is imparted. You're not going to really sure about whether my students, whatever they understood, are going to actually apply those principles, those concepts in their real life, either personal life or professional life. We're not sure. Now, I have a fundamental question. See, why students can pass the test but still fail in the real world? Where I want you people to just maybe spend 1 or 2 minutes and think about this question. I think this basically question our entire education system. So, and at times these things happen even at the top established universities such as Harvard, Cambridge, even at the top B schools in the world. But they soon realize and they correct the errors. So I want your participation for this question. Why students can pass the test but still fail in real world? Maybe, I'm talking about obviously the professional, obligations, understanding the real world scenarios. Yeah. Yes, I think Archana, please kindly go ahead. You have a point to say?
Yes, sir. Good morning. Sir, basically what is my opinion regarding this is that most of the students are exam oriented.
Yeah.
And when it comes to the subjects and whatever we are teaching in the class, one they are by hearting it, and they are reading as much as required for their examination. Nobody is going beyond the points.
Who is responsible for this?
So yes, sir, that's what I was about to come to that also.
Yes,
so when we are making, they are into centric, examination centric, and most important is that the knowledge towards the students is only as question and answers. They are far away from textbooks or any reading material. So now,
madam,
the responsibility.
In that case, madam, this is not going to help any. It is not
Yes,
going
sir.
to help you. It is not going to help student. It is not going to help the institution which is collecting fees and fees to the faculty. Nor it is going to help the organization in which they are going to work. Not this great nation.
Yes.
So that is where I think as a teacher.
Point.
Yes,
Sir, actually, when it comes to who is responsible for this, so let me be very frank enough and speak about it.
We will talk about it, madam. See, the limitations I will take at the end if you don't mind.
Okay, sir, sure. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
You are most welcome, ma'am. Uma Anandji, please kindly go ahead. Uma Anand.
Yes, sir. Sir, what we observe is in a university affiliated college like ours, where I teach, there is a little limitation on the content aspect because it is governed by the syllabus frame from the university, and most often there is a gap in the syllabus and the industry's current requirements. And that is one. And the second is we have also observed that some students who are not great at their academic performance, but definitely do very well in the corporate once they get a break, once they are getting a placement opportunity, then we see they are doing very well in the corporate environment. So this is the complexity that we can see amongst the students.
Madam, without the concept, there is no way one can acquire the competency. So you are basically mentioning scenarios, and those job profiles don't require a professional MBA degree. That is what I feel. Because without the conceptual background, your application, your decision making is going to be, not so grounded. Yeah. So that is my take, and I think I have a few more. I think maybe I will take one or two. Subrata Chaudhary, please go ahead, sir.
Yes, sir. Actually, there are, I think I will outline some points. There are not only that the academic only or the aim of the students. There are many reasons. So I will say like this, that there are also that the students, they come with a kind of a mindset that once after the MBA class we will have a job. So, and this is being assured by the institutional level, whatever at the time of admission. I see. I am not sure what is happening in colleges, but I have seen in many colleges, you come join and you will have a job. So that's one reason. So they give less importance during this classes and involvement in the examination like that. Even though they do well, so they fail. Number one. Number two is that some students are there also those who are career focused. They do well, even though they do not have the knowledge like that. They do well, but they are very family focused. They are very self focused. They are not doing. They are failing also.
Fine. I think that this is more to do. My question is very specific to what we are trying to impart, the skills or knowledge or the way we are trying to groom them, and when they get into the real world, and why is that they are failing? I mean, that was a question. I think Archana, you have something to say? Please go ahead and be very brief because I need to move forward.
Yes, sir. You just told that about the limitation. So you said you will take it at the end, sir.
Fine. And who is that, please?
Govind, sir. Govind.
Kindly go ahead, sir, and be very brief, sir.
Yeah.
I have a lot of choice, Yeah.
Yes. I'll not go into what is the reason for this, but I will just explain one case, of an institution where during placement, that used to happen, that we the institute, they basically do not used to disclose the marks, marks of the students while in the placement, while placement season or whatever, placement week, whatever. But slowly what happened after some point of time, that not soft part, after quite a long time they took different decision, disclosing it. What happened after that? So whole the system has changed from a different kind of learning system to this exam oriented and then passing the test and things like that. So there are among the students there are few people who are very good, cracking the exam and doing excellent in the test. So that was coming out again.
Yes,
so,
yes, it is basically
systematic. There is a systemic problem that we are in, and we have adopted.
Yeah. Okay, I think mostly I agree. Before I take those things at the end, yeah, mostly they are systemic, maybe cultural, and we don't have that kind of exposure. There are various reasons. Sir, let's move forward with this. So we realize that the students, the young kids actually need skill sets that help them later in their world, in their real world, when they face challenges. Yeah, their professional careers or even in their personal life. Actually, the students appreciate in the long term. Yeah. And let us quickly look at, I'm sure you're all familiar with this learning pyramid. And again, why a faculty, can actually make active learning more interesting and up to date, and really, make kids fascinating about what is that you're trying to do, how is it you're trying to relate a concept with the current market developments. This is something, a kind of a juncture between your class interaction and the current market intelligence and the kind of a pedagogy that you're using. And I think I don't need to discuss much here. The passive learning, active learning, and in an MBA, it is obviously more of an active learning and less of a passive learning that works. And you can clearly see the learning outcomes and what an MBA needs. For instance, analyze, define, and create. Analyze, define, and create, and evaluate. I think some of this stuff you looked at in the previous session yesterday and day before, and demonstrate the ability to practice. These things you don't get if you are using completely passive learning, where you get into the class, lecture, and leave the class, and no one knows what is happening. When the students are challenged tomorrow, isn't it? So obviously, they feel the heat then. They may enjoy the class, but tomorrow they actually feel about what happened in the class, where things went wrong. So they're going to recall. They're going to recall for both. Either it is good or bad. If they are winning the world, they praise you. If they are not able to win the world, the outcome. Right. So, and what is the flip class? I think, what is a flip class? In traditional classroom, what happened? You go to the class, you introduce the concept, and by the time you explain the concept, your time is up. But in a flip class, what happens? The most complicated things, because the easy things that used to happen in the traditional class, such as reading and even trying to go through the concepts, all that happened before. They read, they make smart notes, and they go through your videos, and they come to the class. When they come to the class, the most difficult things are happening in an active learning mode, which is basically a flip class. So in a flip class, things that happen never used to happen in the traditional mode. That is, how this concept is applicable, where this concept can be applied, and what are the various alternative scenarios under which this concept is going to work. There was no chance, no scope to look at these aspects. and the guy, the girl is passing the test. Tomorrow they are going to face the music, isn't it? So they were not given a chance to check their concept, to check their learning. If mostly we are doing lecture, so that is where we are talking about a flipped class. So in the flipped class, easy things are done before the class. Can you see, professors, can you see my slide? How does a flipped classroom work for students and also for faculty? How you create an edge for yourself in a highly competitive class environment. This question is applicable to both faculty as well as to the students. So flipped class, you can see before the class what is happening. The lower loop to start with. Before the class, students, MBAs are preparing to participate in the class activities. It may be a discussion, it may be a group assignment inside the class under the guidance of the faculty, isn't it? It may be a case discussion, it may be a discussion of a particular topic. So with that prior preparation, they get into the class. So now here, the concepts are going to be verified, concepts are going to be applied. Students practice. An MBA class literally essentially become a practice session when they do certain things before and when a faculty and the system ensures this, right? So, and the students are going to get an authentic feedback from their learning teams and from the faculty. So that is how they are bringing their confidence. They are raising their confidence levels and their abilities. And the post-class, students check their understanding and extend their learnings. Yeah. You discussed even in the pandemic how FMCG sector and pharmaceuticals are doing so well. Now, after the class, they are going to look at during the pandemic how automobiles are doing, how consumer durables are doing, and how the banking sector is doing, how the insurance sector is doing, isn't it? That is how they are going to broaden the knowledge base. And the next session, you're going to check as to what they did on the previous topic. First 5 minutes, first 6 minutes, that check is enough. You can even set a 2-minute quiz or a 1-minute question, 1-minute quiz. Take out white sheets from your notes and put the question on the blackboard or whiteboard or on your slide. They had to write the answer, give back in a minute, isn't it? So that is how the tempo is going, uninterrupted, right? And don't be afraid of the backlash. There may be a resistance in the initial stages, but as a faculty, you are the supreme, you are the authority. You know what is needed for young kids. I think this is my opinion, ma'am. This is how I handle things, and I think I have already talked about. So why a future leader, corporate leader, need these skills: analyze, define, create, and evaluate scenarios, alternative scenarios. Because other professions are by and large going to be with the same laws, same formulas, and and the same stuff, isn't it? So that way, the corporate world is just, we talked about UCA times, and to handle UCA times, they need an enormous amount of practice session inside the class and also through various evaluations, projects, and so on and so forth, which you are going to see them very soon. Okay. For instance, if you become complacent, what is the obvious outcome? Yeah, if you as a facilitator or from the point of the student is complacent, then it is very expensive. I think the outcome just now we looked at. I think, can I have 1 or 2 responses here? Yeah. So in this journey of please, Subrat Chaudhary, please go ahead, please. Yeah, Subrat Chaudhary.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Please go ahead. Can you see my slide?
Yeah. How does the flipped class demand current market intelligence? how our students can create an aim.
I think can you are you able to see my current slide?
No, sir.
Yeah, my current slide is this. If you as a facilitator is complacent, then what is the outcome?
If I'm being complacent.
Yeah.
Then if I'm being complacent, what happens? I go by the theoretical more.
Yes.
Than putting into them the practical scenario, the present scenario, what is happening all around us. Sir.
Yes. In fact, my fundamental question here, see, sir, I'm not lecturing or I'm trying to give any gyan. I'm only trying to share my life experiences, having started my career way back in 91. So I'm just because I have looked at several institutions, and my bosses are, thank God, thanks to my colleagues, my well-wishers, some of the great personalities. So I have seen every side of the world, and especially in this corporate and also the management education training and so on and so forth. So finally, what is it we carry at the end of the day when we are in this profession? Can I have one or two responses? Is it the salary at the end of the month or something more than that? I'm sorry to ask. I'm sorry to put words this way. Yeah.
So can I say something?
Yeah, you're most welcome, ma'am. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is Vandana from Bhubaneswar. What I think is that we also need to update ourselves. We also need to work on ourselves with the change in time, so that we can we can help students to learn in better way. Like we have to change according to the change in technology and use new innovative ideas, and for that we need to work on ourselves as well. So unless and until we are able to make the students professionally ready and give the correct concept and make them facing the challenges the new world pours into them, then we as facilitators also fail. So that is what I think. We need to work on ourselves.
Yeah, and always reward students. Always identify potential in your students, and never demean them, never discourage them, never demoralize them. You always you are only leading a team. You are part of the team. For instance, when I enter the first class of first semester of MBA program, I tell openly, see, I am here to learn along with you. We learn, we do this course, we do this topic as a team. I am only a team member of this class. So that is the parity we need to bring. We need to basically handle them like friends, right? So that is because they always carry some kind of a hesitation, some kind of a fear. So this thing to be removed, and it doesn't take much time to really bring that momentum and move forward. So I further move forward. How an active learning environment compel current market intelligence. I think to be embedded into MBA class. I think some of these things we talked about before. Are you able to see my slide, ma'am? Whatever I read just now? Yeah?
Yes, sir.
So management is all about scenario analysis and diverse situations. You talk about international crude oil prices. International crude oil prices are declining, but Indian, within the country, the petrol, diesel oils are increasing. So the students are very much perplexed, surprised. Hey, what is happening? The input costs are declining, and the final product prices in this country are increasing. So as a teacher, we need to bring what is the current market price when you put diesel or petrol into your vehicle today. So why that has gone up? Why that has come down? So the current scenario across. So I can mention a number of examples like this. So if you're not able to connect with what they do on a daily basis, please connect. As simple as, hey, today you got up. What is the toothpaste that you use? Which brand of brush that you are using? I mean, that is the connect. Then you take the examples to the corporate world. They feel easy. They say, sir, We are doing this economics every day, even before entering MBA program. Sir, we are having these marketing ideas even before we enter because it is embedded. Most of the MBA, the concepts are common sense, isn't it? So relating things to the current market intelligence because they are actually practicing on a daily basis. So they can be as simple as that. So business developments across domains are frenetic. I think I don't need to lecture on this. The way the trends are changing last 3 decades or 4 decades. In this country itself, because of liberalization, globalization, and privatization, underwent enormous change. You don't see some corporate names, and you see so many new names in the corporate world. The way the Indian markets, Indian economy is so the current trends are so important in every functional area. And we are all living in the information age. So much information become absolute every day. This also poses enormous challenge to the kids because they don't know when they click something on the Google, they get about 2,000 responses. So which information is reliable, isn't it? So we need to really train them. So much information flow. So what is actually useful to you, isn't it? So again, the current information, the way you screen and you filter it and what is needed for you, and online or offline. Now you can see this, internet has become integral part and kids are far ahead. The other day I was having online class, and you believe it or not, when I was giving examples and I just about to complete my the current CEO of General Electric, that guy searched and told me immediately. So when you bring the momentum, kids are there to do the remaining job. That is my experience. Yeah, they bound to have some hurdles in between, both faculty as well as students. But this is the way move forward. Current market developments always fascinating to young minds. This please keep in your mind. Youngsters always, appreciate when you bring something, happening right now. I think that is what we look for. And how is that the current developments are different from the textbook? Because otherwise, if you don't relate these things, what is there in the text and what is happening in the real world, in companies, in industries, the government policies, the economies, world over, they see that jo pada class mein, I think this we don't see in the real world, but there is actually a connect. There is a way to use simple concept of demand, supply, or profit maximization, or HR, marketing, OB, the way they bring such a powerful concepts which they can actually analyze the current market scenarios. So this is the most important connect that we need here. Hello, I'm in the class. Yeah, and so it makes sense and become imperative to talk about current market scenario and makes deliverables more balanced in terms of concept and the current practice. This is something very important, my dear professors. Hello, can I have 1 or 2 points here? Why this aspect is so important? Yeah. The bringing current market developments, how that ensures your deliverables are more balanced in terms of concepts and the current practice. Can I have some points? If we miss out on this, what kind of a price that we pay? Yeah. Yes, please.
Sir, can I speak?
Yeah, please go ahead. Who is that?
I'm Anuradha Gaikwad.
Please go ahead, madam. Yeah.
So basically, if we don't connect what is happening in today's world with what is there in the textbook, as you've already said, that they will not be able to, they'll always keep on feeling that what we teach them through the textbooks is not applicable.
Yes.
And when we teach them what is happening currently, that will also help them because they're going to be facing interviews in the current scenario. So that also becomes a method of preparing them for their placements.
Wonderful, ma'am. I really thank, and I'm sure everybody is having a similar perspective about it. because we are doing 90%. That remaining 10% is going to help them a lot. We need to top it up. Either in the class or you give them assignment, or in the next class I'm going to take 5 minutes. So how is that you are able to apply what we did in the previous class in the real world? What are the alternative scenarios? What are the alternative companies that you looked at? What is happening there? How this concept is applicable in those diverse different situations? Because tomorrow an employer coming to an engineering college or a management institute, they are going to look for these things. And they say, sir, your students are not able to connect the dots. This is what exactly. A problem will have diverse multiple angles. And it is the manager's role, like a general physician, isn't it? A general physician is always heading a team of doctors, specialists, when they are attending to a chronic patient. Likewise, a student, an MBA, has to have ability to connect the dots across functional areas and with the current market developments. That is going to be the competitive edge for kids to serve this nation, to serve their organizations, and to take care of their families. Yeah, and I further move forward. I'm sure that, now I just have about maybe 15, 17, 18 minutes. Now, how MBA course packs capture current market intelligence? I think even here also, are you trying to do something about it? I would like to hear maybe 1 or 2 responses before I move forward. Yeah, I would like to hear 1 or 2 responses here. Are you able to see my slides, professors? Yes, how MBA course packs, the course material docket that you give to your students, capture current market intelligence? Are you putting any efforts other than those Harvard cases, Ivy cases, and textbook and so on and so forth? Are you trying to update them with some current market stuff? Yeah, in your domain, in your area. Yeah.
Fair enough, sir. Sir, this is Subrat.
Yes, sir. Please go ahead, sir.
Fair enough, sir. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. To be honest enough.
Okay, thank you so much, sir, for your input, sir. But it is very important now, because we are ensuring that the kids are there almost 85–90%, but the 10% makes enormous amount of difference for corporates to appreciate, and even for them to really relate with what is happening. And that is how even they develop certain interests in certain lines of their future career. So this is, I feel it is very important. Sir, are you able to see my slides, please?
Yes, sir.
Yeah?
It is visible, sir.
Okay. Sir, what I do, I'm going to talk next maybe 5 to 6 minutes, not more than that. Maybe I would like to interact more, question answers. I think that is very important, because because that is how I feel that I can do a better job. So these are certain things we see in the standard textbooks, either Indian books, published by, Indian publishing houses, or even foreign. They are trying to bring a lot of stuff current. So in what form? I think most of us ignore these things and focus on the text that's been coming for decades. But this is the most important stuff, and this is where the kids actually find that excitement as to how to connect with the current, with those concepts, and how best to take their understanding forward, isn't it? So finally, our effort is to bring that perspective into the minds of the kids. Now, so in the form of headlines, this I do in my courses for every topic, and in some textbooks you find these current things in the form of headlines. For instance, there is a BAYE textbook on managerial economics and strategy, BAYE, B-A-Y-E. Headlines. For instance, a topic starts with the very beginning chapter starts with a case drawn from Financial Times or Wall Street Journal or Economist or Guardian or Indian business newspapers. For instance, Amcot loses $3.5 million, and the business head fired. So the topic, the profit maximization, how the companies create value for all the stakeholders, completely hover around. And at the end of the topic, kids are going to find a way, find a reason as to why this manager is fired. Because this guy was not able to understand how to create profits, how to create economic profits. How is that to achieve a positive NPV, net present value? Similarly, another chapter starts with crude oil prices fall, but buyers see no relief at the petrol pumps. This we see in India also, isn't it? So this topic, demand and supply. So every topic is actually starting with the current market development, and you are going to verify your concepts with this and solve this problem at the end of the topic. So this is how we are basically putting kids on toes. And injecting that curiosity into the young minds. Never underestimate younger kids. I think they can do wonders. The other day, my colleague Sandeep, now he is with Manila School of Business, Asian School of Business, I think, in Manila, one of the best B schools in the world. He said he has collaborated with one of the students at IMT Nagpur and Harvard. So our kids are so capable if you really groom them, if you really train them. Now, and also we ignore small globes inside the business. These are also there in the business textbooks. So what happens inside the business? They are captured in the form of a box item. So OPEC members can't help, but they cheat. This OPEC is a monopoly solution. But what actually happened? Why the global oil prices go in cycles? Isn't it? So what compels, what drives these global oil prices at the heart of the global economy? The global, the market health, isn't it? And others in the form of, you are the economists. These are the small caselet, again drawn from the current, business newspapers such as Wall Street Journal or Financial Times. How low PC prices can go? We tend to think this is basically the demand problem, but actually the solution is coming from the supply side. So we are basically pushing kids to actually cross-check the concepts with these. And these are so powerful. If the students miss on this, I'm sure they are missing a lot. Right? And another way you can bring enormous amount of ease into the class is in the form of the cartoons. Can you just see this? It's such a powerful cartoon. I think who can? Can you make who is this guy in the cartoon?
Yes, sir. It's Trump.
Yeah, what he's trying to remorse or whatever. Why doesn't anybody like me? I think if you are teaching a course on global business environment, the way he has written all the trade pacts, the way he meddled with the trade blocks and the US agreement with so many other nations, and the way he has rewritten so many, American laws, immigration, which in turn, raised the cost of operations for both American firms and also Indian technology firms operating there. So you can bring a lot of stuff, and you are trying to wake up a guy who never awake in the class. That is what, sometimes kids say, sir, at least in your class, we don't sleep. So you are basically trying to keep the kids awake. Some of my colleagues, they even at IIM Ahmedabad, now they are in a very senior position. In the backbencher, they used to sleep. That is what they see. These things happen. Please let us not creep about these things. So the faculty role is how to keep them, awake and still do our job. Yeah. And you can see, the number of cartoons in finance, for instance. See, so when the EU is, in a kind of a problem, what can happen to the euro? Isn't it? Anchoring the entire European market. And the stock market is tough. Hey, what is happening? It is going so high. So what is the next move? When this is going to come back? So you can create a amazing, intricate and very teasing questions to kids here. Now, and caseless and news analysis, we are religiously doing it in our area, economics and business environment and other areas. that in every evaluation, we are going to ask current market developments. We have a almost 20%, 25% evaluation component that is on news analysis, and this is taken directly from the current newspapers. For instance, drug companies are reeling after a Martin Shkreli incident, and it could shake up the entire pharmaceutical industry. This guy has raised one life-saving drug in US overnight after taking over the company by 8,000 times. So you can really bring the concept of monopoly, and you can tell the kids, so where can I keep this 8,000 times rise price, that my y-axis is not sufficient enough. So what is really making that kind of a monopoly? So are there copyrights? Whether that is acceptable to regulators? So I mean, the current market stuff really go way beyond what is written in the text. And this is how you are topping up your efforts, which is something very important. And streaming videos, CNN Business, I think that is the most important. For instance, you can just check COVID-19, the economy explained. So likewise, there are several like this. Some instances. Can I share some of my what I do, participants? We left with another 8-9 minutes. Can I share what I did? So what I did so far I talked about most of the business. In fact, when we are choosing a textbook, suggesting textbook to the management, we have to look for such books with lots of current applications. It is not only that you are walking into the class with a newspaper, Economic Times. I do many times. I walk into the class, the moment I see something, Economic Times, Business Standard, or anything, Wall Street Journal, Financial Times, and when I see something on MSN News or Yahoo News or whatever, I just take it to the class. Right. So we looked at headlines, we looked at cartoons, we looked at inside the business, we looked at news analysis, this all stuff. Whether something is there in the textbook, which we often ignore, oh, it is there in the box item that is not related with the running text, my topic. So that is the kind of approach most of us have. But that is what actually kids appreciate. All right, and so I just spend maybe not much time, madam, participants, professors. I just, so some instances, for instance, supply demand prices. Okay, this is a general management topic, not necessarily economics, because supply demand, if you take out this, the entire business curriculum crumble, because you want to talk about supply demand for MBAs, for human capital, for financial capital, for goods, services, yeah, anything, you know, the same logic work. For instance, could you please look at this stuff? How best you can actually make the class interesting on demand, supply, and current markets. Could you please? Are you able to see the this cartoon on Facebook?
Yes, sir. It is.
So I want maybe 1 or 2 responses, quick responses. How is that you're going to make use this cartoon? Facebook stock dropped on news that a psychologist said Facebook friends are not real friends. And you can see on the TV, the stock price is dwindling. So this is all about the market conditions, the information flowing around, and what will happen to the prices in general. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So how you would like to pitch with this cartoon application in a management class? Anyone?
Organization performance is related to the market information.
Yes. How market information is capable and so unrealistic, so unverifiable. Some psychologists saying whoever is making friends on Facebook, they're not real friends. So one important information, one important point that one can drive here, it is not the real stuff that you see in the newspapers. It is many a time it is expectations, sentiments, that are actually driving the markets. You talk about onion prices, you talk about tomato prices, you talk about FMCG or consumer durables or stock prices, currency prices, name anything. Yeah. So you're essentially trying to make stuff like economics, so intricate subject, easy for the kids because they're able to relate well. Okay. Now I have some more headlines. This is how I take it to the class. Gold at a new high amid dip in demand. This is again intricate. So what is happening in the bullion market? Yeah, chaos in the gold market, ripples to other metals. The price of gold is crashing. Here it is why. Oil is plenty, demand weak, and still oil prices are going up. These are all very intricate things for kids. They even if they have 100% dislike for your subject, they develop interest if you show the headlines like this and discuss a bit on them. For instance, current COVID, wage growth tipped to crash as job market struggles, and there is an article Forbes 23 June during the pandemic. Likewise, several and for instance. Sensitivity with the sales volumes. So how the firms really understand how sensitive are the airline passenger ticket tariffs. So for instance, here Singapore Airlines, here Euro Disney. So why they decided to slash the prices? So what that mean about sensitive to the sales? Are they too sensitive? For instance, if you look at, so the Singapore Airlines gone ahead with slashing price. They wanted to make cash flows in volumes, yeah. And the Disney also slashed because the people thought that their charges are overpriced, and when they slashed, they experienced 17% rise in operating revenues to almost 1.36 billion euros for third quarter 2019. So these are all the current stuff from Wall Street Journal, or you can bring, most of these articles are also published in Business Standard and Economic Times. So for instance, on production costs, how I bring Maruti Suzuki, Mercedes to raise prices over higher input costs. So how the kids MBA should know what is really causing prices to rise. Is it only rise in demand, but also rise in input prices for producers? So likewise several and this is something, kids are so driven by this model, isn't it? A role model for them, the Tesla's head. So when is he coming? Why is he coming? Isn't it? They are very curious, right? So this I, clubbed with my production cost topic in my, Elon Musk, Tesla's battery. What are the production risks for a player such as Tesla? So when you talk about production or cost, demand, please talk about the risk, because every topic, whether it is economics, finance, or HR or OB, has to do with the risk. So the risk and return, every possible concept can be related with, right? So I think wherever possible, I'm able to gather your opinions, and I think the next important point, maybe 1 minute I take, the scope, usage, benefits of current market intelligence. You are using it in learning and teaching pedagogy that we discuss, and home exercises you can give. You can give them a current article. Please analyze the demand supply. Please analyze HR issues. Please analyze the financial problems. Please analyze why Tata Group exited Misri. That is a corporate governance, isn't it? And your internal external assessment course project. Please try to use. This is a parallel learning for kids. When you are doing, for instance, managerial economics or any other subject, when you ask them, kindly see how this course is being implemented in your selected company or your particular study team in this particular course. I think these things I do in my courses. Industry expert interactions go up enormously. They leave a very, very impressive feedback while leaving the campus, and it is essentially part of overall grooming, and employers' feedback go up immensely. And more than anything, which I kept apart, institutional brand equity go up enormously. These are the advantages for faculty, for students, for institution, for other stakeholders such as employers, and so on. Yeah, are you able to see my slide? I'm almost in the last slide. So, can you see my slide? So, how a professor uses a particular combination of methods with the current market intelligence. Some of the aspects that go into the use of a method by a professor include a number of considerations. The level of teaching objectives you have to keep in your consideration. The aptitude, the talent level, if they are on the suboptimal, it is our responsibility to raise them. The course or topic contents, the session planning, professor teaching skills and preferences, the size of the class, the learning group, and on top of everything, what matters is the institutional commitment and the environment. I think that is most of you mentioned. So that happens. Excuse me. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we are here, sir.
Yeah.
Yes,
so
sir.
I just want to show. Yes, madam. Please go ahead. This is my last slide. Yeah. Please go ahead, madam. You want to ask something? Yes, ma'am. Hello.
No, sir, so please continue.
Okay. So what is the stakeholder impression when you do these things? I'm just sharing. I received a mail from one of my students. I think he's the best judge. And I received mails like this for about 40-45. For instance, kindly look at it. So I read it for you. This they did at the end of the term after writing my subject. So this kind of flip class and the kind of current market intelligence that you embed into your knowledge imparting, how this is going to groom the class, how this can actually take them way beyond your core schools, because this is what a kid, a student, a girl, a boy remember throughout their life. Sir, this indeed fills me with great pleasure that today I have the great fortune to inform you that your students have done a remarkable job in CFM end terms. My heart is filled with profound gratitude and a sense of humbleness has swept over me that we were fortunate enough to have been taught by you. Your incessant efforts to cajole us into the ways of flipped classroom, like a mother responds to an unleashed child, has worked wonders for our understanding of such an intricate subject. The flipped classroom paradigm has sharpened our wits and chiseled our critical thinking abilities. This is what basically required for corporates tomorrow. We feel confident to face any exam, including but not limited to MBA program, but also in a sense, the broader exam of life itself. Thank you so much. Yeah. So this is what your stakeholder, supposed to be the most important stakeholder, has to say for this kind of a commitment. If you have any questions, you are most welcome, professors. I hope you are able to see the slide, right? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So if you have any questions, you are most welcome. And likewise, the kids are so smart, and they find every possible way to express their gratitude. And this is another. Today I have my CFM paper, and I just wanted to let you know that your sessions have been really helpful and knowledgeable. The way you taught it with the help of articles and cases helped me understand the concepts better. I understand this online mode of learning is quite difficult, but thank you for having the patience of teaching, patience and teaching us. I hope I'm able to apply the learnings in today's paper. It was great having you. I mean, the kids really appreciate. The only thing is they're bound to be some kind of a resistance at the beginning, but once they are also selfish. They also have the reason to appreciate your efforts. So I think that is my say. If you have any questions, you are most welcome. Yeah. Yeah, any questions, professors? You are most welcome. This is my contact details. Gajavelli vs imtnog.ac.in. You're most welcome for any academic collaborations or any further queries on the topic. And my contact number is 992330057.
Okay, Dr. Gajavelli, Jagannath,
Yes.
Jagannath Mohanty.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, sir, thank you. Thank you for that insightful and very energetic session. Okay, I think you have,
So the energy.
your energy is contagious. Okay, the pitch at which you spoke all through the session, not even dipped for a second. Okay.
Sir, it is the kind of liberty freedom, which is given by the program coordinator, Jagannath Mohanty. I must thank everybody here for their kind and patient hearing, amazing participation. I look forward for further future collaborations, which are mutually helpful, understanding, enriching. So, Professor, please go ahead. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So thank you, sir. I can't thank you enough for the kind of preparation that you put into this 1.5 hour session. Okay, your
welcome,
insights, your experience. I can't thank you enough. So thank you, sir, and looking forward to such collaborations and such interactions in future as well.
Professors Gurudevo Maheshwara, thank you so much for attending.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Most
thank
welcome.
you, sir.
You're most
thank
welcome.
you, sir.
Most
Thank
welcome.
you. Thank you. Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
So, dear participants, we are gearing up for the next session. Okay, and we will start dot at 11:45. Okay, till then you can have your cup of tea. Okay, subsequently we'll have a small little valedictory session. Okay, and then your 15-16 minutes quiz. That's all. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, participants. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Very constructive participation. Thanks indeed to all the participants. Please be in touch.
Sir, it was a great session, sir. For all.
You're most welcome, sir. You're most welcome. You're so kind, so supportive of the session. If at all something happened, that credit goes to all the participants. Yeah. Thank you so much.
I could not make myself disturb for a second also. Constantly I was listening.
Oh, thank you so much, sir. Please drop a mail, please. Please drop a mail. Sure. This number is my WhatsApp number also.
Yes.
You are most welcome to contact me for any help. I'm always there. I'm always there. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah, sir. It was really indeed a great session, sir. I'm teaching economics and finance.
Okay, madam.
Yeah, it really sensitized me that every lecture we must use some current market intelligence. It will really help enrich our sessions, sir. Yeah.
Because kids they're so curious. They are like trial and error. They're like kids thrown into the wonderland. They don't know many things. And there is something called curse of knowledge. We all of us feel that everything is easy, but for learners everything is difficult. But after putting so many years of work, we feel everything is simple. So that is the problem. So for them, everything that we do, it makes them to think, to explore, and it is the teachers' innate ability to bring that interest, involvement, that curiosity, and ensure that is continuous, it becomes contagious. Yes, madam. Yeah.
Yes, thank you, sir.
You are most welcome, ma'am. Please be in touch. Yeah. Anyone else? I'm here until you attend the next session. I think if you have any queries, it is an informal.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for providing such an insightful sessions for all of us. It is indeed a great learning experience for all of us. And sir, I just want to thank you for all your kind suggestions that can definitely be able to implement. And sir, you have also you have also said that we need to find out some relevant news before going to the classroom. It will definitely make us to be a good teacher or leader or mentor. So this is really amazing, and we need to think upon all the recent changes or developments that we can also discuss further with our students, and we can also make them understand that we are all here to learn something new, and we can go together and instead of focusing on this thing that I am your teacher, instead we should tell them that we can also learn together, and
yes, yeah, we have to tell them. We have to tell them, I am here to learn from you also.
Yes, yes.
And madam, the problem is if we don't go with the current market intelligence, the latest developments, even sometimes I look for BBC early in the morning 8, because otherwise the kids raise a question in the class and we become helpless.
Yes.
So that can actually make your situation very miserable.
Yes.
So we need to be updated about bare minimum critical things on a daily basis. That is what my take. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, I teach strategic management. Sir, could you please?
Amazing.
Yes,
Yeah.
strategic management. So, could you please enlighten some new pedagogical aspects, particularly in the context of strategic management?
Madam, for instance, I teach consumer firms and market. This is a managerial economics, but this particular course actually take them very close to strategy.
Okay.
So in the case of a strategy, you can take anything. For instance, what is happening in telecom, how geo entry, has brought some kind of a disruption in the industry, and how the government policies are impacting the industries and the companies. For instance, globally, Donald Trump putting some kind of restrictions on immigration, how this is causing escalation in costs of operations in US for both American companies and also. So strategic management, every development with an element of uncertainty, you can take it to the class now.
Yes, sir. Sure, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah.
That is really wonderful.
Dr. Gajavelli, I mean, the other instructor is ready to deliver the next session.
Yes,
so,
yes, sir, I'm leaving.
I am compelled to stop you. Otherwise, I would not have stopped this conversation. Wonderful conversation going on.
Thank you so much.